We'd like to call this meeting to order. The Historic District Commission, Wednesday, November 6th. We'll call it to order now, and for the records, we'd like to have a roll call. If we can start at my right.
Sure. Laura Whitty. Angie Nagel.
Mike Brassfield.
Jennifer Cook-Brigham.
Alex Stikeen.
Now, has everybody had a chance to take a look at the agenda? We'll need a motion to either accept the agenda or modify it.
I'll move to accept the agenda as presented.
Can we get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next would be the adoption of the minutes. We were all here last time, so I'm sure we've had plenty of time to look this over. And if it looks correct to you, then we'll need a motion to accept.
Yeah, I reviewed it, and I'd like to make a motion to accept the meetings for September 11th, 2024, as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed, okay. Moving on, public comments. Is there any public comments other than what's on the agenda? If not, then we'll move on to the first order of business, being the replacement, or consider the replacement of an existing 6-foot wooden privacy fence at 26243 Vincennes. Is the applicant here? If you would like to come on up.
Wow. That's good.
And we see from your application for permit that you want to replace the existing fence, or are you repairing the existing fence? Or a little of both? Well,
The existing fence is not repairable.
okay, so this would be a brand-new fence.
This,
Okay, well, that kind of brings it into a different realm.
Okay, let me clarify that for you.
Yes.
Currently, the village council is under discussions on existing non-conforming fences in the R3 district. The issue has been under some debate and is actually under scrutiny by the village attorney
Okay,
to potentially deal with some of these. We have a number of them around, as we're all aware. So from the village council perspective, they're working on that. But in case, or in the event that they come up with the solution to that, I wanted to make sure that the people here have an opportunity to come before the Historic District Commission, albeit the ordinance says you can't approve something that would not normally be approved, but you could give your blessing on what it is that they are proposing to do, without actually granting them your permission to do it.
well, yeah, because this kind of sheds a different light on it. You know, it starts out here, the undersigned hereby applies for a permit to replace, it is replace, not repair. It falls under a different category because that's not maintenance anymore. It's,
Correct. That's been my interpretation, and that's been what's up for debate
See, if it
and
was
scrutiny by the village
if
council,
it
or
was
these
just
members of
maintenance,
the
it
council.
would be a different deal. But now, it doesn't look like we can really move forward on this.
If you want to follow exactly what the ordinance says, you're correct in your statement. Until such time as the village council and/or the village attorney offers opinions that allow something different to be done.
I mean,
I've brought my concerns before the council members in the fact that there are a number of these fences around. If you allow them to replace the fences, then the part of the ordinance that says you can't put one up
right,
somewhat becomes moot. And,
exactly.
you know, it might as well not be in the ordinance. And
Exactly.
my position has been to the council is, if that happens, you might as well take the non-conforming part of the ordinance and eliminate it, because you'll never get rid of the non-conforming fences.
So if there's 164 plus or minus total footage on this fence, and they decided to repair 162 feet of it under the
Oh,
clause of
that's
being
not pretty
repaired,
big, too.
right?
See, It's,
Yeah.
Alex, there's another issue here, because when you read the ordinance says that interpretations to the ordinance are within the limits of, or under the purview of the zoning board of appeals. Okay, the ordinance states that the building official, zoning administrator, lucky me, is the interpreter of that ordinance, and if you don't like that interpretation, you're more than welcome to go to the zoning board of appeals for an interpretation.
Now, let me ask you
The
this.
village council has stepped into the middle of this program
Okay.
and is trying to do something to allow these fences to be replaced, but I personally, as you heard of me a minute ago, have some
Yeah.
concerns.
Well,
with
if it's-
Pandora's box that
Can I
opens
ask
up.
a question? They want to put up a new picket fence at 6 feet tall, yeah?
Yes,
Brand new, yeah.
Brand new, okay.
actually, it's privacy screen by
Yeah, privacy
definition.
screening, okay. Is there anything that prevents us from approving these materials and this product
That-
for the fence? Can we restrict it to that?
Yes.
Okay,
If you
and then
allow
we
that-
don't worry
if you
about
allow
the rest
that
of
as a
what?
material to be
Okay.
used to do that.
Right.
Then if they get the approval to put that fence
From the
up.
ZBA.
Right,
You
so
guys
that's
have
not our
already
concern,
determined that
though.
the fence materials proposed is
Okay.
That's not our
fine.
concern.
Yeah.
That is a
So
concern of the
if
zoning
we, if
board.
we
or-
approve the materials.
Yeah.
And now,
Yeah,
Bill, it says, fence will be in the same location. Does that location meet the current setback?
no, that's the problem.
Right.
Okay,
A privacy screen cannot be in a required setback.
okay.
A required setback is that area which the ordinance says you can't put structures in. Theirs happens to be, theirs
Right.
happens to be on the back property line.
Not if
which
you
is
take
within
it
the rear
completely
yard.
out.
Yeah,
If you take
But
it complete.
again, that's not really our, it's not really our concern.
No, it's not
Yeah,
really
that's
our
all- yeah,
concern. That's up to the
exactly.
ZBA.
That's not our concern. We're just here to talk about the materials.
Materials.
And you're
Which-
replacing a wood 6-foot fence
With a
with a wood 6-foot fence.
In
So
the
we're
exact same
saying-
location.
right.
Yeah.
So
Well,
from my
that
perspective,
also-
we don't really need to deal with the rest of
Location
it.
shouldn't necessarily be part of your,
Right.
Location isn't our
Yeah,
purview.
what
That
you're
would be
looking
Bill.
for
Or the
is
ZBA. You'd
to
have to get a
approve the
variance.
materials as proposed.
So how does this relate to the maintenance of your property and being able to maintain
Well, if it was
in a way that
just
is
a
conducive to
small
enjoying your
section, if it was just a small section, I'm not telling you what to do, but
property? Right.
that would fall under maintenance. But if you're
Specifically,
completely taking it, tearing it down and putting up a whole new fence, and it looks like it's going to be a dog ear instead of what you currently have.
Well, the problem is, we had Randy from Action Fence come out, who
Mm-hmm.
does a lot of work in Franklin.
Okay?
And we had a tree come down over Labor Day and take the fence down. The fence has been going down. It was a homeowner job.
Sure,
Probably
30 years
ago
old.
That was not done correctly.
Right.
There is not one part of that fence that is not rotted or falling
See,
down.
40 years ago, there was no fence ordinance either.
So-
That's true,
But
yeah.
it was grandfathered in, so that we could actually replace this fence when it needed to be. So either I'm not an attorney, or there's a lack of understanding on my part,
Okay.
why if we're grandfathered in, it's a wood fence in the exact same location, the exact same size, and it's a maintenance issue because the entire fence is rotted, why can't we just replace
Well, that's
that?
up to the
Oh.
village attorneys. I don't see that, how
What
how
the
it could
ordinance
possibly
states-
grandfathered in, because the ordinance has changed.
So
Yeah, the ordinance, we're next door neighbors and we share the common fence. And the history of it, we moved in January of 1993 and the fence was there.
Yeah.
And then in 2006, Charlie Whitelaw lived on the property and they replaced that fence. So that was replaced
Oh,
completely.
oh, could you please state your name?
I'm sorry, Roger McClough.
Roger McClough.
683 Franklin Road.
Thank you.
And so they replaced the entire fence. They came before the Historic District Commission and got approval back in 2006 to replace the entire fence, and they allowed them to put it inside out as well. So we've been living with that, and we're fine with that. And there's only 5 feet or so on their side of the property. So if you know, we can hardly get through there as it is.
I'm sure if you bring it up to the ZBA and state it exactly, see, we don't have the authority to do that.
I'm Suzanne McClellan.
You're gonna correct me now.
326.
Okay.
I know the history of that fence.
You're not
Charlie
related to my
Whitelaw-
wife, are you?
I guess, Charlie Whitelaw did put up that fence without permission,
Okay,
okay? And it
sure.
was inside out, okay, the
Oh, yeah.
raw side towards.
Well, it depends on what side you're on. Yes.
So he had to get permission after it was put up,
Right.
okay?
And how many
That
years
was
ago?
in 2006.
Okay.
He went from the ZBA, okay? This is what I have questioned.
I'm sure I said it there. I was here in
Well, you were-
2006. Yeah,
okay.
oh, yeah, I've been here 23 years,
I don't
so.
have the minutes for that meeting. I don't think it's just because it was inside out, because, you know, he needed a
No,
variance.
it's because it's a privacy screen in the setback area.
So if he had went through this, to the ZBA back in 2006, wouldn't that be,
Same thing we're doing now.
I mean, you know.
Well, if there's a record of it, but
Well,
I
I
don't know.
that I've ever researched that.
I'm also
Marvin.
not a
Well,
property
we
user.
wanna
But
get
that's
these
not the
facts.
issue. You are here tonight.
Yes.
For materials, not location, not height, none of that. You're here to get materials approved. We'll work out the details on whether it's allowed or not allowed,
Okay, so the
notwithstanding the Historic District Commission. If that happens, these people still have to approve the materials. So I put it the other way around until we resolve the location issue. Let's get the materials okay.
Yeah, we
Sure.
want to be
So-
as residential friendly as possible.
We do.
We're not- we're-
what is presented to us is a replacement
I see
of
what you
materials,
wanna
but
do, and
at,
it looks like it's going to be real.
but it is worded to say in same location. So if that's in,
Okay.
And if we can
that's
help you
baked
move it
into it.
along, we certainly
So we
will.
just restrict it to the materials only?
We have to.
we
I
we
think that's
we
all
can
we
give a
can.
recommendation, we can give a recommendation to approve the materials.
Yep.
The location is to be determined by,
Would one of us like to make that motion? You've done a pretty good job.
I'll do a
All
very,
right.
my best attempt at, I'd like to make a motion here that the Historic District Commission approves the applicant's
Material choice,
material choice for a 6-foot wooden privacy fence.
and this is,
Or location.
is this called Outdoor Essentials?
You
Is
might
that the
wanna-
trade name of it?
No, that's, I just.
Oh, this is just a look.
Okay.
You may not be getting it from, okay, got it.
Yes.
But
Yes,
it's a-
and people do it on site.
It's a dog ear fence, it's pretty,
It's a generic picture I found
no, it's nice.
from Home Depot.
Nothing spicy there.
Understood. So market-ready, available materials that
There you go.
are a suitable replacement for the existing fence at 26243 Vincennes Avenue. And this is a recommendation by the Historic District Commission with noting that the location will be decided by the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Yeah, on the
Or
proposal, it does say 6-foot solid dog-eared traditional red pine.
And what standard are you basing it on?
Well, we're referencing the Secretary of Interior's recommendations for rehabilitations number 6 and number 9.
Michelle, can I ask you a question? When you said this is the first you heard about this, what are,
This was just a materials meeting.
Okay.
So what I was told was to present everything and it would be approved or not.
so this is
you
the
know.
second
Well,
time, when people are
who-
coming in, we've got to figure this.
If you don't mind, can
No,
you,
I don't want to name names.
okay,
Otherwise,
well,
I probably wouldn't have been here.
okay.
Right, that's what's frustrating, I feel bad for,
No, it was nice that you came.
Yeah.
We'll try to help you any way we can.
So what does that look like?
And,
who's
well,
getting the wrong
now
information.
it's,
That's where we have to nip
Well, her and
that.
I had a discussion at the counter, and I thought I made it perfectly
Oh.
clear. Now, maybe she didn't understand what I was saying, but we've had conversations at the counter.
Okay, I just didn't
I've
know if
had
it was someone when they
conversations
came
with Bill
to.
Lamont, I've had them with numerous people, because
Okay.
this is an issue that has far-reaching ramifications
Right.
to it.
Oh, I agree, I just feel bad when people come to apply for a permit, we've been talking about this, like, here's the steps, here's you have to go through. So it sounds like you didn't get that
Well,
information.
actually, the motion is on the
I see.
table. We need to either second it
Yeah,
or
there- so-
deny.
Oh, sorry.
So we do have, a motion
sorry.
to consider the replacement, and we do recommend the replacement of the existing 6-foot wooden privacy fence with like materials at 26243 Vincennes Avenue.
And
I'll
do we-
second,
Do we have a second?
I
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So our next step is zoning board of appeals.
This
We will
would
finish
be,
processing your permit.
Okay.
I'm waiting to hear back from the
Yeah,
village
Bill would
attorney, the village
would have that
council
information.
president, and others on that. And what I will do, I'm not here again until next Monday, but I will research what Ms. McLeod brought up, referencing a previous zoning board of appeals issue.
Okay,
That may impact this, yes,
okay.
Sure.
okay?
I mean, definitely having your neighbor show up to
It's
say it's
Yeah,
good
well,
as opposed to the other way.
Everybody agrees with this.
Right.
All three neighbors are like, yes, we want this privacy fence. The other question I have, do I go ahead and build it? I know you said you would deny the permit if I gave it to you. If
I
Randy
have-
submits a permit.
That's what this is, basically, is the permit.
But Randy needs to submit a
Yes.
permit also. So
And
do
the
you want-
action fence, if that's who's doing it, yes,
Do
please.
you want me to have him submit that
Yes.
permit at this time?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
okay. Moving on to item number B, consider demolition of 25815 Franklin Park Drive. Are the applicants there? So you have an existing single-family residence that you would like to demolish and build a new home, I would assume?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think we've all, has everybody had a chance to take a look at this package?
Yeah.
I went to the estate.
All right, even better.
I really don't see anything historically significant of this structure, so it looks like a nice enough home, but I'm sure the one you're gonna build is gonna be equally or even better. So,
I went to the
Yeah.
estate sale. It's beautiful, so I.
This is the
yeah, I
homeowner.
mean,
They should put their names on it.
yeah, I don't personally, and does anybody on this commission see anything significantly,
No, did you identify yourselves for the record?
Yeah, I'm James of Custom Homes by
oh,
DeRocher.
okay.
This is Maurice, the homeowner.
Okay, and you're gonna be, are you the contractor then?
Yes, we'll be building the new home and demolishing the existing.
Okay, I don't find any historic significance to the home. Can you talk a little bit about how many trees you might be taking down when you put up the new house?
Actually, all of that is in the packet of information. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but that information has been submitted.
Trees are,
Yeah,
the house that's going in there is going to be of significant size. So the house meets all of the setback requirements. There are some mature trees around the house. However, the tree ordinance does indicate that any trees within the footprint or within 10 feet of the footprint are not regulated.
Okay.
So the other trees that are remaining on the property, DeRocher will have to fence them to protect them. And
You know, we always discuss, Franklin has a vested interest in preserving the canopy and the rural nature of the neighborhood. So it's something that we always discuss when we talk about demolition. So to the extent that you can preserve trees outside of that footprint and the 10-foot buffer zone, if you want to call it that, that would be our recommendation
Yeah,
coming from us.
we're making,
We're very much on that page.
yeah.
Great.
yeah, I think that,
That's why I'm rebuilding in this location.
Awesome.
yeah.
okay, we need a
See,
formal
you can see
motion.
it's got a nice big end.
Perfect. Well, is everyone good?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll move that we approve the demolition of the existing single-family home at 25815 Franklin Park Drive, with the recommendation that the tree canopy be preserved outside of the footprint and 10-foot buffer. And this is consistent with the Secretary of the Interior Standard number 9 and number 6.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think that actually goes without saying, because they have to comply with all ordinance. And that tree ordinance is just part of the
The process.
application. I mean,
Correct.
it's nice of us to bring it up, but because there is an ordinance that they must comply with,
And they are allowed to remove trees, it's just that they remove regulated trees, and there's a tree replacement
and then there's a. yes,
process,
and
there's a
it-
bond, there's all sorts of things.
It's
that
pretty,
go with
it's
that.
pretty
I can
clear
safely
cut.
tell you, there'll be many more trees than what's there now.
Beautiful.
Well, I'm sure Bill will do, will
Love the
count
trees.
off.
I have to go back to work now to pay for this.
Pay for the trees.
To pay for
Gotcha.
trees, so,
Sounds good.
but these
Thank
guys,
you.
these guys are gonna build a beautiful home that everybody will be very pleased with.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now,
Trees away.
deteriorating windows. Item number C,
We can't have that.
replacing deteriorating windows at 32455 Franklin Road. Are those applicants here? That's the library.
Yeah.
Okay. It is the library. Has anyone had a chance to take a look at this? I think that it's in compliance with our
Are
ordinance.
those the windows right there?
No,
That's
no,
not
that's,
your
that's,
That's a
that's
different
the
one?
next
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
I know that Alec and I have both been to the library and like have looked at the windows, pushed on the windows, scraped little sections.
Yeah.
We've definitely seen what
Yeah,
they have, and we know that it's, you know,
Yeah, if you read the application, they're replacing two deteriorating windows with wood casement windows, matching the existing profile. I think it's a slam dunk.
Like a no-brainer.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
So if we could have somebody put together a real quick motion?
Sure. I put forward a motion to approve the replacement of deterior windows at the Franklin Public Library located at 32455 Franklin Road. And that is in accordance with the Secretary of Interior Standards number 6 and number 9 for rehabilitation.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
aye.
All right. Now, our last item, it looks like another windows and a roof and a replacement barn, repair at 32440 Franklin Road. You guys are up.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
My name is Don Bostro, and
Right.
I'm the owner of this building. It's been a real estate office for the last 50, 60 years. Originally it was Paul Schofel's building. Anyway, the windows are in terrible condition, they're rotted.
Okay.
And we would like to replace them. And in addition to the replacement of the windows, we have a barn that's in the back of the building that needs work on it. We haven't done anything with it recently, and it needs a roof as well as siding repaired on it and windows as well. There's two windows in it. And that's the building that's between the post office and this building right here. So,
Would it be all windows on the barn or just specific?
there's just two windows on the barn right now, it'd be both of them.
Okay.
And the windows are on the north side, the two windows are on the north side,
On the barn?
on the barn.
Yes,
The house, the home, we want to replace all the windows.
all of them.
So there's two different buildings.
We do want
Okay.
to, yeah.
But there's only one application.
Because it's one piece of property.
Okay.
Okay, and then both roofs are being replaced on both the barn
No,
and the house?
no, just the barn.
Just the barn?
Barn,
Barn.
siding, and roof,
Now, I see that you brought a color chip for the barn,
that's correct.
and did you bring anything for the, I see you have you have some
Right.
samples of windows, but what about the roofing? What type of roofing?
The
do you
shingle.
plan?
There's a shingle, a black shingle.
Okay.
And that would be going on the barn.
Yes, yeah, I see that from your
Is
application.
that
here.
architectural?
Yeah.
Or is it, okay.
So the windows would only be in the building. The majority of this is the barn restoration, is that right? Or no, you're gonna re-roof both buildings?
No, I'm not re-roofing
Okay.
the house. I'm just re-roofing the barn, and I'm replacing the rotted siding on the barn.
Okay,
On the house, all the windows.
and the siding is wood currently?
On the house?
No, on the barn that you
Yes,
you
it's
said
all,
you're
it's
gonna
all, yeah,
replace.
it's all old cedar, I guess. It would-
Probably not, but,
Are you going, how much siding needs replacement?
I haven't gone through and
you'd
and
have
checked
to,
every piece. You know, it's, I hope not to replace it all,
Sure, and you plan on replacing it with cedar?
whatever's existing.
Okay, so you're replacing like for like then?
That's correct.
yes.
Okay, and then painting it the red color
Kind of the
that we
same
have?
color, yes. That's faded, it's, we haven't painted it in a while.
Yeah, if you take a look at our last, or the last color
Can you-
chip
Can
here.
you show us the windows that you want to put into the
Yes,
barn?
I've asked David Caswell to come along with me, because I went to him and asked him to provide me with something that had some historical components of it. So this is a window that he had suggested, and this is the one I hope,
So I'm Dave Caswell from Caswell Window and Door. That's going to be here just to kind of show what we're going to do to preserve the existing portions of the window too, so that it doesn't remove some of the architectural integrity that you have from an historical standpoint. So the existing window has an historic brick mold on the outside that finishes off the outside of the box frame. This is the box frame of the window. And that brick mold is what, like an interior casing. This is an exterior casing. And that's existing, and the detail in that casing, where it's gonna be maintained on the inside, or the outside of the building, as well as the inside. So the interior casing that's mounted on the interior structures, fastened to the plaster walls, and the decorative brick mold that builds up brick mold and sill detail that's existing, that all stays there. So what we simply do is remove the exterior sash stop right here on the frame. We remove the parting stop. The parting stop is what creates the two pockets for the sashes to slide up and down. And then we remove the top sash and we remove the bottom sash. And we're gonna be leaving in the existing frames. We're gonna be leaving in the existing interior and exterior casings. And then we're gonna install the window from the outside, because the stop will be removed, install the window from the outside that'll butt up to the interior stool, wood stool that's existing, the interior casing, which this is an interior sash stop where the casing sits on. And then that'll be finished off to the interior. On the outside, what we'll do is we'll have a little trim detail that finishes off the outside of the window back to the existing casing and the existing sill nose. So basically what you're trying to do is take a window, and then this is not like a typical vinyl window. This is a window that has historical preservation. It's been used in a lot of historical projects. And the fact that it has different sizes of styles and rails of the window, and the sequencing of sizes being the 3.5, the 1 3/8, and the 2 1/4 up top rail, those meet historical in a lot of applications. So that's the reason why we presented this window for this application.
And the exterior,
The exterior
material
product
is what?
Will be an aluminum clad.
That's not great.
That's not good.
I understand your window's very nice. And if it was my home, I might even think about it, but I don't know. It's, it is right smack dab in the historic district. Any thoughts?
I have thoughts. So when we look at, and this is a pretty large-scale replacement of windows, and that's a very prominent building in the village. From my perspective, that is a beautiful window, and I, like Mike, would want that in my own home. However, we have stayed away from aluminum-clad windows pretty consistently, really consistently in our window replacement projects. To that extent, we've asked people who want to replace, especially on that large of a scale, wood windows on the outside. We're not concerned what goes on the inside whatsoever. That's not our concern. Our concern is preserving the aesthetic of that building and preserving what it looks like now, to the extent that we can, keeping, being reasonable, but we really have been consistent with our wood windows and the requirement with wood windows on the outside.
Now, the application that David explained to you, the exterior trim, it stays on the window.
I understand that.
Okay.
Thank you.
I wanted to make sure you did.
I'm sorry, Mr. Caswell, is that you? Are there wood windows that look like that can be used?
Unfortunately,
Or that are simple, that,
one of the problems you have in what I'm trying to replace these windows for is obviously for the benefit of a newer window to perform for his clients that are gonna be in the space. So to do a window, there's like, they have different what they call inserts, where you just put a vinyl jam liner and then you put a wood sash in that vinyl jam liner, but there's no framing to it, so it follows the contour of an existing window that could have settled, could be out of square. So when you install that insert type of window with just a jam liner and a sash inside an existing frame, there's no way to get that to see properly so that you have good reveals and so everything locks and operates properly. So that's the reason why they've gone away with that type of product for the replacement, which we call these as insert windows. And because of most of this is used in historical and large communities, like Madison, Wisconsin, and some of the other commercial applications, courthouses, all that, obviously maintenance, all of the exterior of those windows become tax dollars. And so that's the reason why a lot of these municipalities have switched to a clad exterior in order to prevent that continuous maintenance of that wood exterior over and over and over again. So that's, and to my knowledge, there is not a wood exterior available with this type of insert or this type of application that's gonna preserve the exterior brick mold and frame and sill nosing, which is the historical part of the window.
It's kind of, I understand where you're coming from with this too, because like right now I'm doing the same thing with the upstairs of my home and none of the windows are square anymore because they're 200 years old. You can't just buy your way out of the repair. It's either all hands on with like a craftsman building a custom one-off piece for you. I understand, you know, like the market doesn't really support that level of restoration unless you can, and like, where do you find that person, you know, to do that for you? It's not easy, and I've been at a stall for a long time because I can't find that window to replace, you know, what I have. It's not easy, so.
And I'm sure the technology is light years better than it was 100 years ago. Of course, if they would have had it, they would have used it, but this puts us in a precarious situation considering it's a historic district. We try to use as natural materials as possible, meaning no aluminum, no vinyl, unless, I understand the concept here, and it is a beautiful window, and I'm sure structurally it'll outlast any all-wood window by eons, but it's not, we're fudging a little bit here. I know we went through the same thing with the composite decking, and we don't want to start going down that road. Even though some of the materials are probably superior to the woods of yesteryear, it is kind of it's not historically accurate. It becomes a little bit copycat. I don't know what you guys think about that, or.
I think the problem is if we approve an aluminum window for one, it's gonna, like you
Well, it
said,
really
we just
isn't,
don't wanna go
I
down
get
that
what
road.
he's saying, it really isn't an aluminum.
I know, that's why I'm
clad.
struggling. It's not a full
aluminum
aluminum
clad.
window.
And
It's
you
just-
are using the existing wooden casement.
Right,
Okay.
So that,
Which is a,
and that's on top of it.
that's a big plus.
Yeah.
So that's where it's.
I'm trying to figure a way to,
No, I
to,
don't understand.
Yeah.
Because the
to be
aluminum
able
is
to
not.
logically approve this.
It's the,
An all vinyl product is obviously not something that's gonna be a good solution for this, and that's the other
No, it'd be
pocket
terrible.
window that's used for this application. That's why this product, because of its historical attributes, its features, it's sizing that have been driven by the architectural community to say these products meet this criteria in order to be
No.
considered in the architectural.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely
And the wood is
gorgeous.
still on top of it.
So the,
So it's still high.
what extent does the aluminum show? Once the,
Well, you know, it's hard to even tell what kind of material. That's why I asked.
It was very hard to tell.
but on the other hand, it's shiny, and that's something that will show itself at some point. When you're driving by at night, when you're, you know, yeah. It's, so the part that would show it is this, right? And you're replacing every single one of those windows in the house.
Not the
That,
upstairs.
yeah, not the porch on the side, the opposite, next to the post office.
Well, what's your window?
The
count?
the front facing.
What's your
Yeah.
window?
Yeah,
I think there's 30, I
and
have to
that's
look at it. There's
essentially
some
all
windows.
of them.
Yeah, I don't have the exact count.
So that's the majority of the windows.
Majority of the.
Majority of the
And
windows, yes.
let me ask you this, those windows have a particular appearance with the way the sashes are. Does this look the same as the sashes that are there?
It does.
Okay.
That's important.
I mean, that is important. Does this have a bulkier look than what's on there right now?
See, it's all going within the existing frame, so it,
Okay.
that's the detail that you have. This is your existing frame, this is your existing brick mold, this is the existing interior, which you're not concerned about.
Right.
So actually what we're doing is this pocket is replacing where the sashes go up and down, and then this will have a little trim detail that could be out of wood, that can finish off between this window and this brick mold, so that could be painted with the brick mold itself and be blended in, so it's not gonna have this step, this jog like this. That's just something that's there just to show the concept of the pocket window going into the existing frame. But as far as.
So it truly is an insert. It's not,
It's what they
it's not a
call-
full
It's
replacement.
called, right, correct, it's called a pocket window, and this is when we get into the, people's homes into which they have a lot of built-up moldings, they have interior mount shutters, interior
Right,
mount
right.
blinds, everything that is really expensive to remove, and the house is 100 years old and it doesn't even have insulation in it, so what you're trying to do is improve the functionality of the window and improve the performance of the window, and improve the safety of the window because it functions. People can get in and out if there's a fire as opposed to it being painted shut. So that's the primary benefit of a newer window. It's gonna perform better.
That's true. I had a home that was 125 years old. I couldn't open up.
That's something like
Right.
Tell you what, a fire situation, something else is going through that window.
You bet.
Help me.
Okay, that's my feeling. Yeah, I would feel better if Gary was here.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do this.
I don't have any problem personally with, the others might have different opinion with, the roof replacement, utilizing the architectural shingles in the color that you've chosen, which I assume is similar to what's there. Repairing the rotten wood with like materials in the same color. Because of the scale of the replacement of the windows, I think that has a potential to change the exterior characteristics of that building, which is prominent in the town, and stands out as a sort of a premium building. So for that reason, I, at this point, would pass on approving that and would like a little more information, maybe with Gary, our chairman, to weigh in on this down the road. That's my feeling.
When are you planning on proceeding?
I'd like to get started as soon as I can to order them. You know, it's gonna take a couple months. And, you know, so I'd like to get them in as soon as I can.
Okay.
The windows are, you know, they're falling apart, they're rotting right now.
No,
And, you can't open any of them, and
I sympathize. I live across the street from there, so I see your house and understand, because mine's also old.
Yeah.
Also old.
Well,
Very
you
old windows,
could
original
move ahead
windows.
with the roofing, I'm assuming.
I'm sorry?
The roofing has nothing to do with that.
No, I understand that. Yeah, on the barn.
The barn.
Right.
And the windows on the barn are similar that you want to replace, or?
Well, you had a picture of the barn. Can you
Yeah,
pull
are they
that
just
back up
gonna be
again?
simple glass and wood windows that go in there?
I'll
Or-
show you what's there right now, and
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what's there right now.
right. So what, are you, you
I'd like
need,
to, I'd like to put the same thing in.
Same thing in, right? So the windows are gonna be whatever they are. I think we could approve the siding repair, the paint, and the roofing materials. If you don't feel comfortable about the windows, I don't know how we handle that though,
When would,
really.
when could we discuss this
You
with
could
Gary?
put this on the next month's agenda and have him
So it's-
research other options and return.
that was my thought, and I'm not trying to make things more complicated for you, sir, but, I just, that's a large project, and, we've just gone through a big
Well,
project
any
with the Franklin
information
down
you
the
could get
street,
us
and they've
prior to the
made
next
efforts to
meeting
keep
would
all
be
wood,
helpful.
and it's just, I think, a different
If you say it's
standard.
gonna take a couple months to order these, we'd like to do a little research on those windows also.
No, I understand.
But if you could get us some information before next month.
Well, I guess what information, that's the reason why I brought David Caswell with
No,
all
I
the,
got it.
with all the information on the
Our-
windows.
Our chairman, Gary Roberts, is really good in terms of facilitating something of this scale and making sure that it's aesthetically consistent with, the village and how the village comes together. And I know that he would be happy to speak with you and try and help you through this process to find something that is the best possible option while preserving your trim, preserving the general look of the building without making it crazy, crazy expensive. So, and I'm sympathetic to that as well.
Well, I'm sure those windows aren't.
I know, I'm sure they're very expensive and.
Right, and I did ask David if
Yeah.
there was any kind of a wood window available.
Yeah.
And he said, there isn't one, unless you just have some guy, like you said, sit there and make individual windows. And unfortunately, we can't afford doing that. These windows are very expensive.
Sure,
No,
Where
no.
I'm
Yeah.
starting is like, the one thing we did with the Trek thing where it was like, some of it was Trek and some of it was wood on the stairs that we approved, like,
No, we never approved the track.
no, remember,
For what?
there was something for the,
The home on Franklin, is that what you're thinking of?
yeah, it was Tread.
Oh,
it was
that was
Trex
for
the
residents.
Tread.
I think I would feel comfortable if Gary weighed in on
Yeah.
it to see what kind of combination of factors we could put
Yeah.
together
Well,
to
then,
make.
let's put the
Yeah.
windows aside, and if anybody would like to put together some motion as far
I'll
as
do
the siding repair,
Sure.
that could get started, the painting,
Or just-
well, you may want to
Yeah.
hold off on that, but the roofing, you may want to get done.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do it. So with respect to the application for the window replacement, roof replacement on the barn only, and the repair of rotten wood on the barn only at 32440 Franklin Road, we approve the roof replacement on the barn with the shingles, what are,
It's that one's Corning Architectural.
architectural shingles, and is there a color on there? Oak Ridge,
That's the trade name.
is that what you plan to
Style.
use?
Black,
Black, Oak Ridge,
onyx black, yeah.
black architectural shingles, and to repair the rotten wood on the barn with like materials, and I believe you told us that cedar or
I'm not
some-
sure if it's cedar, but
with
whatever
like,
it is.
with similar wood,
But,
similar dimensions, and
but I can't replace the window.
not until we
as of yet.
discuss it. Yeah.
So,
And we also approve the chosen paint color as submitted, which is, do you know what brand of paint this is?
no,
Okay.
I got it, sorry, I mean.
Okay, it's tile,
Well,
Red?
that's just some manufacturer's name.
okay,
Yeah, we don't know who you don't know who the manufacturer.
No, but that's the color, it's,
okay. And the color, the paint color for the barn in tile red. And you don't plan on any trim color, just everything will be red?
Right.
Okay. As it complies with Secretary of the Interior Standards 6 and 9.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I guess we should say we're tabling
We're tabling, yeah.
the
We're-
discussion
we're-
about the window
Actually
project.
postpone to the next meeting.
Yeah,
We're gonna-
postpone the
we're gonna
window,
postpone the
decision
window
on the
discussion
windows.
until
Right.
the next meeting.
Can I ask a question of clarification?
Yeah.
When I was showing you the display, I guess my question is it the fact that it is aluminum clad
Yes.
versus wood?
Yes.
Did you mention something about the sheen of the paint, which anything that's wood could be painted whatever sheen you want it to be? So I just want to clarify that. Your main concern is the fact that the exterior of the window is aluminum clad, not
Yes.
the color sheen or anything else?
Correct.
Okay.
It's the material.
It's the material.
The material.
Yeah.
Now, if there's nothing that it really exists, then we have to make a decision, which would, you have to accept it.
I think that's one of the things that Don's looking at is, at what point do you let the windows continue to go if there's no solution?
No, there's
what's
going
that
to be a
look like?
solution by next meeting, but we'd like to have a little more research done on this, because I don't think you're gonna get a unanimous vote tonight.
No.
I understand.
I mean, you could
understand
push
that.
it, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
It's ironic that the library was up here. What kind of replacement windows are you gonna use in the library?
They are
Wood
using
windows.
wood.
They are?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
And we had all the ones in this building redone.
And the house behind, the small residence that's one block
They're gonna be-
east of you is doing an all-wood window around that's very small property.
Yeah,
But
good for them.
They are, yeah. And
So if they're redoing the wood, they're most likely doing all of the interior casing as well.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a full frame window replacement.
Probably,
not
yes.
pocket
Yes,
application.
yes, I'm,
Which, at that point, you're removing some of the historicalness. I mean, for that building, it may be plain and simple with flat brick mold. I just want to know from my own personal.
no, I think we just need, we need to regroup with our chair, Gary Roberts, to really just clarify, and then also offer any kind of recommendation that, and resource that we can.
Well, the other thing is that there are limits on what the Historic District Commission
Yes.
can do.
Yes.
And that has nothing to do with the interior of the building. They only deal with the exterior, so whatever happens on the inside is not relevant to this group.
But the exterior brick mold
The
would have to be
exterior.
removed in a full frame window.
Full frame.
I'm not gonna get into a
Right.
big debate.
Sure.
We had a partial
Yeah.
motion
No, I
on the
know.
floor that needs a second, so.
Yeah.
Did anyone second it?
yeah, these are just, the library's not real
We
fancy.
did, yeah, we did.
They're just Marvin windows,
I-
but they're all
Yeah.
wood.
Yep.
So-
Record, we're
And it's
good.
only 2 windows, so.
Can you leave one of your examples for Gary to look at? Or do you need to take those with you?
Those were loaner. from-
We-
They're loaners, okay.
We could give you a call.
And
We'll
I
give
can
you a
send
call.
pictures or if
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Yeah,
Yeah, one way or another will work.
Yeah,
Whatever way you can
we,
get you-
we want to work with you, and I know this is
Yeah.
probably a little annoying, and
Yeah.
I sympathize, I do. But we've struggled with replacement materials on a number of buildings in the district, and we've tried to be consistent with everyone, and understanding that there's cost restraints. There's also aesthetic concerns that we have to deal with as well, and that's our job here, so, so you're good to go on the paint.
And the
sign
roof.
it,
Roof.
your siding and your roof, so.
I'm sorry?
You got a motion and a second is,
Oh, yeah.
We did all that.
Second, and
Yeah,
I.
we've already
I
done
did, yes.
yeah, but now you need the people to all agree to the motion and the second.
that.
We did.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
All in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
Thank you.
There you go,
Make
you're
sure
right.
you got it on the record here.
We
Kinda,
did.
kinda got lost in the weeds there.
It's too bad that that can't be clad in wood.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
It's just too bad that one really couldn't be.
Well, it's an inch.
And I thought if it was covered by the wood, then you would see it, because that's what I was trying to
I'm
get at.
sure this is a much better window than Marvin window. I know,
I thought it was butting up against.
Are we gonna, did you?
I'm sorry, no, I'm gonna get it ready.
Okay.
I think he's.
Oh, he's waiting for him.
He's getting his phone.
If there's nothing else on the agenda and anybody doesn't want to discuss anything, Dana, we're going to adjourn the meeting. Give me my.
We're adjourning.
We're adjourning.
I'm adjourning the meeting, fellas.
Oh, it's all over?
It's done.
Thank you.
I don't